First off is a wheel pop glitch with the Type D regalia. You want to park it as close as you can to a fence or a wall, but not too close to where it
Everybody
despawns.
out.
You want to make sure it's as close as possible. Anyways, what I do is I roll into the tire and then warp strike
Sadly,
whenever
no one's
I'm
laughing.
close enough, or kind of like inside the tire,
Mutiny, are we
as
not?
you can see
Not
right
on my
there.
ship.
That'd be the triangle
Knock it
button on a
off.
PlayStation controller. The wheel pop glitch is pretty well known, I think. I don't know who discovered it, but yeah, it's pretty useful. It's the easiest one in my opinion. This next glitch is a little bit more involved and was discovered, I believe, by GG Master Guilty Year. Anyways, you want to make sure you go to Cornix Pass by that base right there. You want to make sure it's nighttime. Make sure you have a great sword. Make sure you have Ignis's Overwhelm ability. And you're going to go to that area, to that road, where that tiny road that leads to the base right there. And that little intersection where the pointer is blinking. What we're looking for is a rock boulder a little bit south from that intersection, and we want to call out or use that ability to get lure enemies and encounter a red giant. You can do it with the iron ones, but the red giant is easier because they have a ton of life. Anyways, you want to make sure you're kind of between the road and the rail right here, both you and the enemy, and make sure you have the greatsword equipped and use Ignis's Overwhelm ability so that you can fall through, as you can see right here. If you want to pop out into the world, once you're far away enough, just use an item like the muscle stimulant or verb or whatever other items that buff your party members. You have to be a good distance before it'll let you pop out, but yeah, that's how you get out of the world. This is pretty useful, at least in Chapter 6 when you have Iris and you want to go to other places. Now, when you're out of bounds, sometimes you're going to run into some invisible walls that you can't really go through, as you can see right here. So what you can do to sometimes get through them, not all of them, but a good majority of them, is just do like a warp attack or swing your sword or do something, any kind of attack that moves you forward, and just use a buff item on a party member and kind of let it hang there for a little bit before you let go of the button R2 or whatever, as you can see right here. And you should be able to get through the barrier. It doesn't work on everything or everywhere, but it's pretty useful if you want to get through those invisible barriers that you run into out in the middle of the world when you're outside of bounds. A lot of times it's kind of trial and error what weapon you need to use. Sometimes it's best with a sword or sometimes a ring or spell, because the warp strike changes depending on what weapon you're using. But yeah, like I said, you just kind of leave it hang there, and if you're far away, really far away, the world will take a while to buffer and render and whatnot. Anyways, you kind of want to wait for it to load a little bit before you do it. Again, it kind of depends on a lot of things, but just trial and error and you'll get the hang of it. You can also use this trick to break into the world, like if you're close to the road and you want to break that invisible wall that's right next to the road that prevents you from going in. Just make sure that your teammates don't spawn before you do it. Sometimes you can even kind of go through bits of terrain and whatnot if you're far away enough from your party members. It's pretty useful if you want to go underworld whenever you're outside for whatever reason. Sometimes you want to go out of bounds, go underworld, and then pop in somewhere closer to the inside. Another useful tip is when you're really far away from your teammates, you can use that item glitch to, like the muscle stimulant on your teammates. And if you're really far away, you'll get launched into the air. And also you want to make sure you have a shield for other out-of-bounds exploration and daggers. They kind of help with movement. But as you can see here, you'll be launched up into the air, and you can kind of move to other areas if you're having trouble. I'm not 100% sure how far away you have to be. I just know you have to be really far away. Also, if you're going to go through the underworld, it takes about 13 minutes holding forward to cover about 1 mile. And if you're just running outside in the underworld, in the overworld, it takes about 5 minutes per mile or so. This next one is how to get your chocobo out of bounds. So what you want to do is go to the Malmaland thicket. It has to be the first time you go there. So get on top of this rock. You want to press forward and R2 to call your chocobo, and then walk off, and then that kind of cancels the animation. And then just click the stick and go to your rest area, which should be inside the thicket. So you want to make sure you go rest there first before you try this. And you'll be able to bring the chocobo inside the dungeon, as you can see right here. You can do this with any dungeon to call the chocobo in there, but this is the only place where you can actually go out of bounds, at least what I've been able to do. There used to be a way to do it in the volcano area, but I don't know if you can still do it there anymore using this trick. But this way is pretty reliable. So what you want to do right here is you want to, as soon as you get to this, as soon as the camera pans out, you want to dash all the way to this little area right there where it's kind of circular. There you go. And just dash all the way through until you fall off. You don't have to jump or anything, just dash. But make sure you time your dashes to where you don't spend it all up at once. And you'll be out of bounds, as you can see.